Hello, everyone. Welcome to Humans of Talos. I hope you're all doing well. I am here today with Kri Dontje, who is on the strategic planning and communications team with me. Kri, hi, how are you doing?
I'm great. It's nice to be on here. I'm a little bit of a background character in Talos, so it'll be interesting to be on screen.
Yeah, actually, tell us about that a little bit. Like, what has your career journey to Talos been like? What has your traditional role in Talos been, and you are transitioning to a new role, right?
I have a technical writing degree, technical communications, which tech writing, for anybody who doesn't has never had to work with a tech writer, just a person who translates very technical topics into something that other people can understand if they're not necessarily big in that field. I've always had a very non-traditional career, though. One of the few people who got a degree in the thing that I got in a career in. Um, but my first position was at an extremely small company, 14 people at its largest. I got to do documentation design and demonstration videos and rebuilt their help system from the ground up. And that was all very interesting and terrifying because I was learning it completely alone. Um, and and I'm also just a huge nerd and a learning junkie, which helps with that sort of thing. If you really enjoy being around people who are into really complex things and you like talking to them about it, that helps with having this kind of job. And so I spent a lot of time around a local miniatures wargaming shop and became friends with a bunch of nerds who none of them actually worked for Talos at the time, but some of them have migrated in. Well, I guess Marshall worked for Sourcefire at the time, which was a previous element of Talos. And so when I was looking for a different position, I was able to ask him to put my name in, and here I am. I've been transitioned over to the strategic comms team as a research engineer, and I'm going to be doing a lot more focus on communicating about Talos, like a slightly more technical level than our comms have been to the public for a while, but also still creating content that makes Talos accessible for people as much as possible.
I think one of the reasons why I wanted to ask you on is because I just vibe so hard with technical writers because I was one for a little while.
I was
But
very excited when you joined. I was like, oh,
yeah,
somebody I can bounce ideas off of.
yeah, it's fantastic. But I was wondering, and for our viewers who haven't really had to work with tech writers before, what do you think are the most important qualities or skills that make someone a really good technical writer, especially in such a fast changing landscape like cybersecurity?
Yeah, that one's a big contradiction because one of the most important things for tech writing is consistency and accessibility. It is not a career that encourages adjectives. You want to be using the same word to mean the same thing every time. Because if you use a fun synonym, who knows? The person reading that may think that's an entirely different concept. So using the same thing over and over, making sure that the information is always accessible in the same area. Versioning is a big problem, making sure because people won't trust the documentation if they find bad information in it. They're never going to think that that's a reasonable place to go again, that it's a waste of their time. So versioning and keeping things accurate is really important. Being snoopy, also um, not being afraid to feel real stupid in front of extremely smart people. That's probably the hardest thing, is showing that you are ignorant to somebody that you know has an exceptionally uh, advanced career in really interesting specific areas. Usually, you can find a common ground, and that's kind of the important part. But also recognizing that you're not talking down to the audience. You're not trying to like make this information for stupid people. And that's
Right.
kind of, some people assume that they'll say, oh, I'm not smart enough to understand that, make that understandable. It, even within Talos and the cyber community in general, everyone has extremely broad ranging specialties. Most people don't know what other people do or don't have that specialty. They wouldn't be able to do that or figure it out for themselves without spending a lot of time and energy that they don't need to. So the important thing is bringing the information to a level where other very intelligent people can cross-reference that and make it applicable to what they're doing.
A lot of people may have never worked with technical writers before. What mindset should they approach this partnership with, and what makes for that really strong subject matter expert technical writer relationship?
Yeah. Having said, I'm glad when people are excited to work with tech writers. That's also a little bit of a red flag. Sometimes people be like, "Oh, thank God, there's a tech writer on the team now. You're going to solve all our problems." I'm like, I don't know if you've worked with a tech writer before, because
Mhm.
the unfortunate answer is that I can't wave a magic wand and create the documentation. I do have to work with you, and you have to tell me how it works.
Yes. Yes.
And we're gonna have to talk about this a lot. And I'm perfectly happy to communicate in any way that's comfortable for other people. Some people really don't want to talk face to face. They would rather me write them a series of questions and they'll take them their time and answer them very thoroughly. And then some people are the opposite. They're like, I don't have time to sit and try to write this out. Get on a call with me and I'm just going to ramble for 45 minutes straight and you better take notes.
Yep. Yep. I've
And,
had that
you know,
happen.
yep, either way works great. You get good information either way. And I don't know. I like both of them. We're also, for the most part, not very egotistically aligned with our writing. I love corrections. Please,
Yes.
God, tell me if it's
Please.
wrong.
Yes.
Please don't tell me, oh, it's fine. Look at it. I'm not going to be offended. I'm going to be very excited if you tell me that something is incorrect. I love that because I would rather it be right because that's the only way that people are going to trust it.
For the last question, I want to ask, and I know this already, because Kri is a fellow fiber arts nerd.
Mm-hmm.
But after wrapping up a challenging document or a long day working with the team, how do you like to decompress? Yeah, I've heard you're
Yeah,
very
I am a
passionate.
fiber artist. I make things, and I've been very excited about your sweater vest as it was being made.
Thank you.
Um, I will say my guilty pleasure is sitting on the couch and knitting and listening to deep dive essays on horror video games.
Fun. Okay, do you play
I've
horror video
probably
games or
I don't play them because I'm a weenie. I had to put down the controller and take a walk after the first dungeon of Skyrim because my adrenaline spiked.
what is your favorite thing that you've ever knitted? And can you show it to us?
Through the power of knowing this question was coming,
Yes.
I do have one of the favorite things I've ever knit. For one thing, this is all my own hand spun yarn, which I'm very proud of. And
Wow.
the pattern itself was, I didn't make the pattern, I just followed it. But it is based on concept art of Éomer's shield in Lord of the Rings. It's a tam. It's ridiculous colors that perhaps only I would ever wear
That is so
and show off.
cute.
I love it. I ran out of the copper color um, is silk. It's Erie silk,
Oh
which
my gosh.
comes. It's actually naturally this color. It's not dyed. There's a I think it's a species of silkworm that eats different things that makes a naturally sort of orange. And
Wow.
I ran out of it and had to respin more multiple times. And it's got a bunch of extremely difficult and fiddly techniques. So it took me quite a while, and I'm very proud of it.
That looks incredible.
I was in a Patreon for a while that was specifically for vintage styles of knits. There were like reproductions of vintage knits, which is very particular and interesting. Um, you can also get into spinning, and then you have every variable that you want about creating the yarn itself, weaving, which for anybody who may not still know this, weaving is where we got binary. Weaving is where code came from. The
That's
the
wild.
jacquard weaving looms had the old um punch cards that they used to feed into computers came from
Mhm.
Jacquard looms. That was how they would program a Jacquard loom.
I had
So
no idea. That is
yes,
so cool. Kree, thank you so much for joining today. It was
absolutely.
really lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is wonderful. It's a good conversation.
Well, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. If you'd like to watch more episodes, feel free to check out our playlist or subscribe so you get notifications when new episodes come out. Thanks so much again, and stay safe out there.